Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I want to talk about one of the most frequently asked requests that I get. And that is, I have a friend that was recently diagnosed with cancer. Do you mind talking to him or her? I have a family member that was recently diagnosed with cancer. Is there anything that you think I should share with them? And why wouldn't you ask me? Because I am a motherfucking unicorn. Let's admit it, people. This is a miracle. For all of you, if we haven't met yet, my name is Nicole. I have stage 4 colon cancer. I was diagnosed 2 years ago. I have lived 2 years beyond what anyone thought was imaginable. And I'm doing it really, really well. So of course people ask me this question, and it is my honor. I will always answer any question, and I will always be there to chat with anyone at any time during their cancer journey, because I believe you should not do this alone, for sure. So to honor this, because I get asked a lot, I've met 4 people during COVID that were diagnosed with cancer. Can you imagine being diagnosed with cancer during COVID when you can't get a hug from another human being, or you can't have friends or family go with you to the doctor? Like, I can't imagine. So I'm thinking about this for myself and making sure I have an automatic response. I have a what I call like a chemo kit. I speak to chemo because that is my treatment. I can also speak to radiation because I was a caretaker during that time. And so I have a very quick, like, these are the most important things you should pay attention to. These are the books you should read. These are the, and I'm going to put that in the description. But really, I wanted to reflect, now that I'm 2 years past what anyone thought was possible. What are the things that I think are the most important that got me here, that supported me, that have made all of this possible? If you could go back to your newly diagnosed self, what would you share? It's a big question. So I thought, hey, why don't I ask some friends? I'd like to introduce you to my friend Kathleen, who I met at the very beginning when I was diagnosed. We both were diagnosed around a month apart. We have the same exact disease, although mine is in the lungs and hers is not. So let's check out what Kathleen has to say.
So, I've been asked to share with you what I would say to somebody who's newly diagnosed with cancer. So thinking back to 2 years ago when I was newly diagnosed, it brings to mind a few points. I think the main point would be not to blame myself. I know I didn't bring this cancer on, but maybe part of me thinks that I did, with not being able to control my stress level, or thinking that I had it under control but didn't. Or a big one for me is, ignoring warning signs that I had, that I could have taken care of things earlier. I remember talking to my oncologist about that briefly, and he basically just said, that's not helpful to think like that. And so that kind of helped me to sweep it under the rug in a way. I don't know if that's a good thing, but to kind of move past that. There's nothing I can do about that. There's nothing I can do about the past. There's nothing that I can do to take me back to earlier times that it would have been able to maybe catch this at an earlier stage. And I just need to realize that I had a lot of things going on at the time, that I thought were more important that I needed to deal with, and really they weren't. So I think that's really the main thing for me, is to not be so hard on yourself. Don't blame yourself for what happened in the past, or or things that you might have been able to do differently or anything. We all are doing as best we can with what we have right now. And at that time, we did as best we could as what we could have done at that time too. So be good to yourself, really. You know, give yourself a hug. You're going through a hard time. And the other thing is, quickly, is that people around you, they can handle things better than we think they can. Bye.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you, Kathleen. What an amazing thing. Cancer strips away, I think, so much, but in some ways positive. In this case, being willing to share with strangers, something that's so incredibly personal and emotional. Take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. That's what I heard. Be kind to yourself. This seems like fun, so let's explore some more. I'd like to introduce you to my friend Val, another wonderful woman that I met taking a creative writing class there is a local establishment here in Chicago called Gilda's Club. It is a nonprofit that provides support for cancer patients and all kinds of things, from art classes to creative writing classes to support groups. But it gives you the opportunity to come together. And so I met Val when I was still newly diagnosed and thought I was on my way out the door very shortly, barely breathing. And I was in a creative writing class that I joined because I wanted to figure out how to put some words down. Let's check out what Val has to say.
Hello, my name is Valerie, and I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer in 2019. If I had an opportunity to go back and give myself advice when I was newly diagnosed, I would tell myself a couple of things. The first thing is, ask as many questions as you can. Don't be afraid that your question is too dumb, okay? You're the one that needs to be getting the information. The oncologists and the nurses and all of the rest of the people who are in your care team, they see this all the time, but this is the first time and maybe the only time that you're going to be going through this in your lifetime. And so you need to become an expert in your own care. Ask those questions. Also, learn how to advocate for yourself. If there's somebody on your care team that doesn't sit with you the right way, get rid of them. People forget the doctors work for you. You are the one that is hiring these professionals. So they work for you. If you don't feel like they're going to do a good job advocating for you and are invested in you getting well, there are plenty of good trained professionals who are. Find them. And that leads me to my next point. Finding them, oftentimes engaging with other people who are going through or who have gone through what you're going through is a really good idea to resource things. You can get doctor recommendations, you can get ideas on how to deal with side effects from radiation or chemo or surgery, all of those things. And then just the support of going through cancer treatment with other people who are in cancer treatment is unbelievably wonderful. And the last thing that I would say is learn how to tell people what you need. Everybody around you is going to want to give you advice. They're going to want to do things for you because it helps them to feel better. So if you can come up with a list of things that you need for people to do for you, they are more than happy to do it. It's a lot better for you. You don't want to have a freezer full of 50 tuna casseroles if you can't stand tuna. Maybe you might need somebody to get your car washed or come walk your dogs after chemo. Start making up a list and use that because, as I said, people want to help. Let them. Good luck to you. Thanks.
Wow. Thank you, Val. That's amazing. And I don't know if you guys heard, I heard the same thing that we heard with Kathleen. Be kind to yourself. And I love that Val, because I think this is so, so important. I love that Val spent some time encouraging everyone to be an advocate for yourself. You are fighting for your life. It is your life, no matter what your decision is. Whether you choose to do Western treatment or not, whether you feel uncomfortable because the doctor looked at you funny, who cares? Whatever it is that's important to you, this is your journey. Take care of yourself, advocate for yourself. That was pretty powerful. Yeah. And the support group, right? Because you should not go through this alone. We understand the language. And again, perfect strangers willing to have this open, honest conversation with each other. That's amazing, to provide support for each other. Well, I'm going to wrap it up with one more. Let's check out my wonderful friend Beatrice. I met in my Gilda's support group. All three of these ladies are now in my Gilda's support group. Let's see what Bea has to say.
If I could go back to my newly diagnosed self on April 1st, 2019, I would say that things are going to be okay. Cancer is not the end of the world, but it is hard, it's painful, it's unexpected, it's unwanted, but it really is just part of your life, part of life's journey. And at this point, if you have it, you have to go through it. So what's important is how to go through it. I would tell myself that continue to really follow my heart and my instincts and trust my instincts. Be an active partner in my care. Ask questions, do my research, talk to people, figure out, be a problem solver, advocate for myself. I would also say that cancer is going to bring some really beautiful things. It's a chance to slow down, to focus on what's most important to me. I will get to do art, make art, to which I've wanted to for a long time. I'll make new friends, especially my Gilda's Club friends, with whom I will share many things and problem solve together. I'll deepen some relationships with people I didn't expect. I will take up other things like meditation and reflexology, and just have a chance to explore being well in ways that I hadn't been able to do before. And in the end, treatment will take its twists and turns, and things might not be as perfect as I hoped. But I will be alive, and I will have a second chance, hopefully, to live for many, many years.
Wow, that was beautiful too. Thank you, Bea. Oh my God. You know what I really loved in this? I think, because all of these things that these ladies are talking about, be kind to yourself, advocate for yourself. And I think I want to go back to something really quickly that I hope you heard with Kathleen, because she shared it at the end, and this is very, very important, because I know she struggled with this, and I struggled with this, is allow yourself to ask for help. Allow yourself to accept help. You do not have the time to waste taking care of others. Let others take care of you. And I think that going back to Bea, one of the things that the loudest thing that I hear from Bea, and I think this is really beautiful, is self-care. Self-care does not equal selfishness. What a wonderful thing to be able to slow down, take the opportunity. I myself have done so many creative projects that have helped me to get through some really intense times, but self-care, whatever that is, you need to be kind to yourself, take care of yourself, advocate for yourself. And I'm gonna say, after having listened to the ladies and thought about this a lot, usually, and this will stay, my first response when I talk to someone, when I meet someone that's been newly diagnosed and we're having the first interaction, the first thing I tell them is breathe. Breathe. Learn to breathe. It's going to be such an important thing. There's going to be so many scary situations, sad situations. There's just going to be a lot. And sometimes you're just going to have to break it down 1 minute, 1 step, 1 day at a time. Breathe. If you can break down everything to just focusing on your breath. And remember, if you're breathing, you're here. That's my first response. And I'm going to keep that. But I think my second response, find support for yourself. Whether that be a therapist, a support group, friends, spouse, people that you can have open conversations with. But I'm going to highly recommend, just like Val did, highly recommend, find a support group of other cancer patients. Some people struggle with not wanting to share personal experience, not wanting to, being ashamed that they have cancer. I don't understand that one. Who created that? I know it exists, and I'm not minimizing it, because so many people I know years ago, they wouldn't help you. Like they did something. Ugh. Anyways, we don't have time for any of that. You're gonna need every tool in your toolkit moving forward. That's what I want to share with people. And the most powerful thing is support. These ladies came to share with you today because I asked them to. I said, let's have an open conversation about this. And they were willing to. Because cancer it eliminates all borders. If you're newly diagnosed and you're here, welcome. And I'm so sorry. You will learn to breathe. You will find laughter. It sounds strange, but you will. These ladies, I have cried with, I have laughed with. They have been my support. They understand when it's just not possible to understand unless you are going through this. We have our own language. So thank you, ladies. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for helping me make this video. And thank you for listening.